Hey guys, today I'm going to do another video about, about another video about my computer and the family computer. So, this might be a long video, but there's also some things I want to tell you about yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, I was not recording. I was playing Angry Space from the computer I played it on back 12 years ago, so I would say like 12 years ago. There we go. So I am going to do more videos today on the Red Planet, but I think some of you are probably wondering why the world are you still using a monitor from like 2005 and why I'm doing videos again. Well, there are a few reasons with that. Is because the reason why I'm doing YouTube videos again is because just why not? And I have been uploading videos on my main channel lately on the Greatest Nick Jr. Archiver 2026. I've been doing videos like maybe every 2 to 3 days is because general punctuations now up doing videos and opening requests is every 2 to 3 days. So I've been uploading more often on my main channel, but on this channel, I know I said I was gonna take a break from uploading videos for a while, but that's about to change. Like, I might stop doing YouTube videos after a certain time, so because the monitor I have for my main computer is a Dell ST2420L, which would think that's a good monitor back in the day, which I would say it's a pretty good monitor, but I don't really need a big of a monitor because I got that monitor when I was still on Windows 10. We're talking about Windows 7 era here, like 2009 through 2015 era. We're talking about that era, so yeah, we're talking about that era. So the reason why that I still have a 2004 through 2005 monitor, this monitor was before I was born, but I grew up using the monitor from 2011 through now. I've been using it for more than 10 years. I would say probably 11 or 12 years, or probably even 13 years, because, like I said, that the monitor was home on Friday, because I wanted it back, and then now it's in the family computer again. As of, like, the last time I was in the family computer was November 2015 when we switched. Then they switched computers and monitors because I forced it to do that because I wanted to. And as I was only 7 years old at the time. But now 17-year-old Cole's gonna recover all of the, to have the computers back to how it was before the switch. But there's a problem there. As I'm playing Angry Birds Space and Cut the Rope on that monitor, I'm like, holy crap, I wish I have this monitor like that. I'm like, because I have so big monitor, now I'm getting used to the small monitor again, the Dell E173IPF. That was manufactured in June 2005. They got that monitor in 2005 along with the Dell Dimension. Don't know what model as I was little. And the Dell speakers, mouse, and keyboard. They have that computer up until 2016, but hasn't been used since like 2012. The computer that's in there now is a Dell Inspiron 570. That was there since 2011, but then it became my computer for about 9 to 10 years. And then in February, I think it was like February 4th, February 5th, it became the family computer again. The Dell Inspiron 3646 was the family computer up until 2024, where it stopped working, and then the Dell Optiplex 990 was it, and now it's the Dell Inspiron 570. Yeah, because the Dell Inspiron 570 is a mid-tower computer. I'm like, let's just have that be the family computer. So I'm like, yeah. So now I'm gonna go talk about why you guys think that the reason why I want that mod. That mod is gonna go on my main computer now. I'm gonna get another one, but I want to tell you a few more things about this. Okay. You think I would get computers that are from the 2020 era, not late 2000 to early to mid to late 2010 era? Like the problem, like the thing is that I don't need to have some fast startup computers, UEFI, Windows 10, Windows 11, soon to be Windows 12 soon, 16, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drives, well, I wouldn't say hard drives, SSDs, or some 10 terabyte of storage for games. I'm like, no, like I don't need all that. 17-year-old child autism on the autism spectrum does not need that. We're talking about computers from 2015, not 2026. Like, I don't need faster hard drives, which are Western Digital Black, or SSDs that are like Western Digital Blue for SSDs, because Western Digital does make hard drives that are like the SSDs that are faster. But we're talking about 2009 through 2015 here, not 2026. Like 2026 gaming PCs that kids will get will probably be like 500 gigabyte for 1 terabyte SSDs and probably like 4 terabyte hard drive space. So I'm like, what's the point with that? Like, I used to have a 2 terabyte SSD in my boot as my boot drive, but I'm like, so I was like, screw it. So I'm like, screw it. I'll go back to a 500 gigabyte non-SSD drive that was commonly used for computers probably until like 2018. But we're talking about computers from 2015 here, not latest. So this is what typical 5 through 17-year-old would have. So this would be my typical computer specs I would have. A processor released from 2009, at least 4 to 8 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabyte for 1 terabyte non-SSD hard drives, no storage drive, no, and Windows 7, Home Premium, 64-bit. And the monitor I will get is 17-inch 1280 by 1024 resolution, and video cards that are from 2009 that have a VGA port that are NVIDIA only, because AMD's drivers require .NET Framework 4.5. I don't use 4.5. No, I don't use 4.5. I use .NET Framework 4 because all my games run on that perfectly well, like Cut the Rope and Terraria, and NVIDIA drivers require at least version 4. So I'm like, that's the minimum specs I would need. And Cut the Rope and Angry Birds and all those games I have on my computer can literally run on computers as old as 2000, or probably even from like 1999 or something. I'm not joking. Like, I ran on a 2007 laptop. It didn't run well because it was a low-end budget laptop. Like, it doesn't even have 2 gigs of RAM. So that's like the reason. Like, you're not expecting to have that system that low end to run very well. But we're talking about systems that were entry level for mid-range systems from 2009 through 2015. We're not talking about computers that are being used today, no. And we're not talking about like computers that are like, yeah. I'm talking about computers. We're talking about systems dated back to 2009 through 2015. We're not talking about computers that are newer. Because I bet kids these days probably get computers that are so high-end, probably has NVIDIA RTX 3060, Intel Core i7, 10,000, whatever. But we're talking about computers like i5 4460S, a GT 635, 8 gigs of RAM, and Windows 7. We're not talking about Windows 11, NVIDIA or AMD RX whatever RX, our RX and RTX version it's on now. We're not talking about an Intel or AMD processors, Intel processors. We're talking about CPUs, like, we're talking about 4th gen and below computers. Literally from dated back to Core 2 Duo / Core 2 Quad through the 4th generation Intel CPUs. And we're talking about NVIDIA video cards dated back to the 200 series through the 700 series. And we're talking about AMD video cards dated from 4000 series to the 8, probably up to the R7 300 series, something like that. Yeah, but we're talking about, but I would say the recommended video cards, recommended processors I would get is probably 1st gen i3, i5, and i7. I have a 4th gen i5, at least 8 gigs of RAM, and video cards dated back to NVIDIA GeForce 400 series, like the GT430 and G530, G630, G730, probably up to the 700 series, and like, I have a G635 on my computer. I think they're like, oh, go get something better like a G1030 or a R7 250. But we're not talking about computers like that. I'm no gamer. I'm on the autism spectrum. I don't need to have 50 games on my computer. I have like 12 games on my computer, which is easier for me. It's easy for me to play Angry Birds easily. And when I have that 1280x1024 monitor, which is a Dell E173IP that I grew up with, that my parents used for years, since 2005. Like 3 years before I was born. And AMD video cards I would go with is probably HD 5450, where 6450, 75, 74, 70, 75, 70, 7750, and probably. But I don't recommend, but I don't want to. Like, I could use AMD, but it would have to be older Catalyst drivers. For NVIDIA, I can go to the 2015 drivers, because they require .NET Framework 4. At least version 4. But AMD Catalyst requires 4.5 plus. And the last version that requires only 4.04 is Catalyst 13.4. But for NVIDIA, you can literally just install new drivers that go up to like 2015. Because they require at least .NET Framework 4. Just want to say my clock was... Yep, it's still working. But we're talking about computers dated back to 2004. Dated back from 2009 through 2015. So, if you're wondering why I have some crappy... Well, you think it's a crappy old monitor, but it isn't. You know why I think it's a crappy old monitor? My brother's old crappy monitor from like 2000, I don't remember. I used it for like a few months back in 2013. And yeah, it was square. It was terrible. I prefer to use the Dell monitor. I used it for 12 years. Prefer to use that. And for the Dell ST2420L, I'll just use it for the Nintendo Switch. Hook it up to that instead of hooking up to my TV that I had since 2012, since I was like 3 to 4 years old. But yeah, we're talking about computers. Like, if you're asking me, oh, go upgrade your computer, say, screw it. I only like computers from 2009 through 2015. I don't need to have SSD hard drives, Windows 7 Ultimate or Pro. I want 8 gigs of RAM, Windows 7 Home, 500 gigabyte for 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drives. Which, you know what models I would go with? WD10 AAKX. You're probably wondering, oh, get WD5000 EZLX. No, I mean 5000 AZLX. But the 500 gigabyte model I would get is the WD5000 AAKX. And for 1 terabyte, it would be WD10 EZX. They are WD Blue drives, which are decent enough to, use for everyday home use. But But WD Black is good too, but I just prefer the blue ones because they're mainstream. They were mainstream for home PCs, but WD Black, I did experience WD Black before on the old Inspiron 570, But I replaced it with AWD Blue. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The next video is going to be about Angry Birds Space Red Planet. And I will do more videos on the YouTube channel. And I think I'm probably going to be done officially. Like, there will probably be some videos that I will be able to record on my computer again. Bye.